Hi, this is Sharon from Irresistible Masks, and I'm here to demonstrate my new templates, which is really very similar to the original templates that I have that are the Olson style, no pleats, because I don't like pleats. So these are the originals that comes with the face, which is the full face and feature fabric, and then the two parts for the pockets. Now, that would design a mask that looks like this, and it covers all the way to the cheek, plus there's space to turn down the edge so that you can add your ties. Here's one that's complete, and these create the pocket. Now I designed mine with just using one pocket rather than pockets on both sides. It's not really necessary. So I add one more feature fabric of the first template, and I only need one of each of these for each mask. So this is how it looks when it's completed. Now this fits all the way close to the ear depending on what size your head is. I'm kind of small, so this one reaches all the way to the back, and I don't need much tie to go over my ears. But if you have a larger head, it might there might still be a gap by your cheek. So because I have a lot of acquaintances that are a little bit smaller, I have friends in Hawaii. There's a large Japanese community in Hawaii. I decided that I could easily edit these templates. You don't need this. You are perfectly fine having these. What I would do though is I would cut my strips to I would take off about this much. I would cut my end off 2 inches from the edge of this. So I would line up a strip of fabric that would end at the 2-inch mark. Now I have a used version of my template. It's really kind of pretty used. What I did is I used this glue and I wiped it on the edge, and it creates a little bit of a grab to it. They don't make it anymore, and I can't remember the name of that glue anymore. What you can use are these grip dots, and that's what I've done with these. And I've used a tape to mark where I want to have my cutting line or folding line. So like I said, you don't need the second template, but I found it convenient. And this set is $45. This set is $40, smaller. And just because I've never demonstrated it, I am going to score this and show you that when you get your new templates, you're going to want to remove the paper from the back, because you're going to want to see through it. So that's all you have to do. There's nothing to this, but it helps to have a pin to score the edge. You can probably try to peel it off from the sides, but that's what makes it a little bit faster. And I don't know if that helps. Scoring it. There we go. This is marked short set. I have these all turned the other way. No, this is correct. This is all facing up correct. And this way. And then let's peel off the last piece. You don't have to dig too deep. I'm sure you can do without it altogether. Might help. Let's see. course, I don't want to scratch the surface, so I don't want to be too aggressive. And if you got one of these, I would love to hear from you and tell me how you like them. I already know I do. And if you have any ideas or suggestions, like I've already been able to edit like my original template to make it smaller. And if you, instead of using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, you can go down to a 3/8 of an inch or a 1/2 inch to make them smaller. And if you want to make them larger, you can probably lengthen this with no problem. Making them longer probably would require a little bit of tracing. You could probably trace it and add a little bit more and then move your template so that you can get a nice curve. So the next thing I wanted to show you is actually how the pieces look when they're done. So this is how the original mask front or feature fabric looks, and here's the one for the feature fabric of the short set. And like I said, this works really well for a smaller face. I'm also thinking it's going to be really great for the summer. So I make 2 pieces, the left and the right side. I fold my fabric in half. So I have a left and a right side, and I've already sewn it together, so that's for the front. And then for the lining, I only make one of each of these of the lining. I like to use white. I have cut them from some sheets that I like percale only because it's so smooth on the face. So I use cut one from here and one from the bottom, and then I turn these down a 1/4 of an inch and then a 1/4 of an inch again and run it through the sewing machine, so I have a nice finished edge for the pocket. And then the matching side, using this template to cut that piece. And then to assemble it, I like to set my lining down first, face up, and then the feature fabric cupping over the top of it, and you want to match your seams. And when you have your seams matching, you want to put one seam to the left and the other seam to the right, so you don't have your fabric bunched up too tightly. And then, since this is facing to my left, I'm going to make sure that this side, the top piece, is facing to the right, so that all of these seams can nest to the one direction. So then you're going to go to the sewing machine and you're going to sew a 1/4 of an inch all the way around. And once you've done that, you turn it inside out here. And I have an example of it already done. This is what this looks like. And here's where the pocket is. And I've already turned them in. Now when I put my ties in for this smaller size, I need a longer tie. Usually I use 8 inches, but for the shorter set I use 12 inches. And I finally got my beads in, and you can thread a bead through the ends and knot it so that it's adjustable. I mean, it just took me weeks before I finally got my beads in the mail. But that's how that one looks like. And I just knotted them before because I didn't have the beads. But this is the larger set and this is the smaller set. This is how you can see the difference. I think for the summertime though, I think we're going to enjoy having like a smaller set so that it won't be quite so hot if we're outdoors. Maybe it doesn't matter when you're indoors in the air conditioning, but this way you can see the difference between the original size and the short size. I hope that helps. Come back and see me at irresistiblemass.com and hope to see you on other videos.